Welcome to South Harmon. Welcome to South Harmon. Hey, welcome to South Harmon. We glad you here today. Another AMA. Ask me anything. Super chat is cool if you wanna pay to play. Like and subscribe, that's what we really appreciate. Let me introduce you to the tear down king. Mike McNutted, ask your questions, he'll answer anything. ATM, you know Adam, put them graphics on the screen. Glad you tapped in now, stay tapped in for the team. Hey, everything is posted. Go follow the socials. South Harmon, FF tag us if we get noticed. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today. Another AMA. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today.
What's good, everybody? Wednesday night AMA. We are back. We are back, Adam. The NBA draft is going on. This is by far and away the worst NBA draft class I've ever seen because through 9 picks, I know like 3 fucking people.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
Who the fuck is that guy?
We did the trade show right before this, and we were getting over to do this, and Mike was like, "What do you think of this draft?" And it's funny because at first I just assumed you were asking me about a draft you were doing, and then I'm like, "Oh no, he's talking about the NBA draft." And then I went and looked right before we started, and I'm like, "This is I don't really have much further to add after seeing the picks so far." I mean, granted, it's not. I don't know. It's not Wemby. There's that.
There's no Frenchmen in here that are otherworldly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Frenchmen in here.
There's a lot of something in here.
Look at a lot of Frenchmen.
French is everywhere. After Wemby, they're all chasing that, apparently, you know.
Just take a guy for French. It's kind of like when we did the mock draft shows on Mondays.
Yeah.
And we get to those later rounds, and we're like, who do we take? Well, it's a fucking lineman from Michigan. Just take him.
Yeah, just go ahead and draft that again. You know?
Fizz.
What up, Fizz?
I'm paid up. Okay?
Yeah. What's great is I knew as soon as I saw Mike with that jersey on, like, what happened? You lose a bet? Yeah.
I did lose a bet.
I did lose a bet.
I lost a bad bet. It feels terrible wearing it. Ugh. It's like the draft. It's terrible.
I'll be honest. I think you look good in it. I think this should be a part of your new staple, your arsenal of wardrobe, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think so, though. That's probably not going to happen. I don't think this is making a trip to Canton.
Really?
Unless we run out of toilet paper, maybe.
After what took place with last year in '88 in Dallas, that can't make a trip to Canton. Wow.
Well, you think CeeDee Lamb's going to be there?
At this point, who knows? I'm not going to put...
If CeeDee Lamb's at the Expo, I'll wear this motherfucker.
I'll tell you one thing. If
CeeDee, big fan, been a Cowboys fan my whole life. What's up?
If Dez can have an interview with Fizzle at the Expo last year wearing a South Harmon shirt, you think I'm gonna put a cap on anything? Like,
that's true.
I feel very much like KG, although I hated to see like Tatum just copy everything and try to act like it was real
you see
cool.
That right there?
Yeah.
We rocked
I actually
Eagles
can't.
chain, though.
It's like behind the beard. I can't see it at all. Stop it. Mike, I've been enjoying your solo vids of late. No Diddy. I think there's definitely a Diddy.
You got to specify.
Pause.
On the YouTube or the OnlyFans. Which one do you?
I would say it doesn't matter. There's feet and there's hair in all of it. So
tonight's AMA brought to you by our sponsors, OnlyStans.com.
I mean, just so you know, even those OnlyFans videos or the solo videos on the YouTube, you know he's good and drunk, lubed up for you. Speaking of no Diddy.
Speaking of no Diddy.
How much does your 0 running back, 0 tight end strategy change in 12-team Superflex lineup start 10, half PPR for all, 0.2 points per carry?
Not too much, even
in
points
per
carry league.
Not much.
A little, but you'll still find those veteran running backs who are going to benefit from points per carry, like some of the ones I listed off. People just get to a point where they're like, I'm good. Fuck, that guy's old and gross. I don't want him. I'm going to take this exciting receiver.
Hold on real quick. I think Fizzle, I think this is important, and we can get right back to our regular scheduled program.
I got to take these off, though. I got to take them off.
Oh, man, look how good he looks. Look at that lamb on it's a big lamb chop right there, you know? Yeah.
I really wish I would have them helmets tonight. Like, it'd be perfect to unveil them on AMA.
Yeah,
just to get the stink of this fucking jersey off of me.
Kind of also, yeah, give you something else to look at. I'm with you. I can respect that.
Yeah, just a little something.
If I wouldn't, I wish you would have told me though. I would have worn my CD too. I would have came down. We would have been, you know,
could have matched.
Thanks. I know, but it's all right.
You remember the
it's
first
also
expo
better though.
We went to, we took that prom photo.
Dude, can we dig that up? That shit was outrageous. We were out in the middle of the fucking like. The shit school and that place were very different as far as you know, the scenery.
You know what, Adam? I think
I
can DM it. Yeah, I got it on my phone. I'll DM it to you.
Yeah, I might be able to put it on the full screen. Oh, it'd be hilarious. that picture's ridiculous. We're like standing right in front. I feel like we're standing right in front of like a big sunflower or some crazy shit.
Yeah. It was at that like wedding place that we were out in Timbuktu.
Oh my goodness, boy!
It was way out there. Way out there.
Is that Mike?
I'm from the country.
Fake? Yeah, that was. It was in the sticks. Now it was. What was that place
I'm from the
called,
country, and even I was like, "Whoa, we out in the middle of nowhere."
Yeah, it's a small little town. I forget the name of it now. Damn, it's gonna be eating at me.
It wasn't Massilian, was it?
Wasn't it Minerva?
It was an M.
Yeah, I want to say it was Minerva.
Whew. Oh boy, I'm looking for it. I know I just came across it on my phone the other day. I swear to God. I was looking at it. I was like, "Oh man, we really did do a prom photo."
Yeah, get that.
It fits.
I'll put it on the screen.
Yeah. What about Rhamondre? Got the bag, man. What'd you think about that one?
Yeah, I'm actually. You know what, Mike? I think I might have pulled
There
one
it is.
out of my ass. I think it was Minerva. Oh, you found it?
I got one.
All right, nice. But yeah, I'll tell you this. I wasn't expecting. There was two ways I was looking at it, frankly. I looked at it as like the Patriots right now with you know, the little contract they have in Brissett and the fact that they have a rookie QB. Like they could probably afford to pay Rhamondre. You know, they're in that position too. But I just didn't think that they would. I think it ultimately does speak to how they view the player, though. Frankly, too.
Oh, that was good. Speaking of which, this is more our style. I had to take one with you too. There we go. I dropped 2 DM on Discord for you.
Okay. All right. Let me take a peek at this now. Now, I don't know if you heard what I had to say there. I know you were looking at our old photos.
Yeah.
So
I didn't understand it because they're in like a rebuild or a retool or a new era, right? Paying Rhamondre feels like you're like ready to go. You know what I mean? Like, all right, we're gonna cut the bullshit. Maybe this year we're gonna be somewhat competitive, but next year we're definitely fucking ready to rock. We don't want no like contract situation, no holdouts, no distractions, because we're going all the fucking way.
Yep. Nope. No Diddy.
Yeah. Going all the way. I didn't understand it. I really didn't. Not that I think Rhamondre is terrible, but man, Adam too. He got a bag off of not a good year. Like it wasn't like.
Let me ask you this.
That's the kind of bag you get after like what his year 2 years ago, where they're like, "Fuck yeah."
Yeah, I would say I was definitely a little puzzled, but let me ask you this: like, with that being said, for dynasty purposes, what does it do for you as far as Rhamondre Stevenson? Does it change it any for you? Like, just I guess let's just try to go to the dynasty side of it, because I think to try to make too much sense of it from the NFL standpoint would be just a little bit of a time waster.
I want to say the contract matters, but then we've seen so many running backs sign deals, and then like by the next year the team's already done with them. See one Miles Sanders, right? But we see this all the time. They just, all right, well, if he sucks this year, then what happens? Like if he has last year's year again where he's banged up and
what up,
not very
Ryan?
good. What's up, Ryan? Ryan, there's a big week coming up. I think there's like some sort of big draft thing happening. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's a big week for Ryan coming up here.
Yeah, sure is. Well, Mike, I'll tell you. I I got to the front of the line. I just thought like you had to be chosen to be in the Scott Fishbowl, but Ryan's like, yeah, but you have to sign up, and then I'll get you in. I promise. But I was like, oh, okay. Well, shoot, I'm in now. But I'm excited to do the Scott Fishbowl, man. Last time I only did the Scott Fishbowl one time, Mike, and my team was so bad. Like I don't think I could make a worse team. I drafted J.K. and Cam Akers that year, and they both were hurt before the season even started. My team was terrible in that Scott Fishbowl that I was in. I need to show better, much better than last time I was in.
I did a satellite, and my team was god awful terrible too.
Really?
What division did you get? Yeah, what division did you get?
I think I want to say it was Captain America. I think. Let me just check.
Okay.
Actually, let me pull it up on my sleeper app.
You didn't want to come play with me, Maddie, Cody, Nate?
Of course I did. Captain Marvel. Yeah, I was in Captain Marvel.
We have Alan's in here too.
You know what's? Can I tell you what's funny?
Cody's little brother?
I just picked like one of the top teams, one of the spots. But can I tell you what's crazy? Can I tell you what's crazy? Do you know who's in mine?
Who's that?
Jim Coventry.
Jim Coventry. There it is.
Yep.
Jim
Isn't that wild?
Coventry,
What are the odds of that? Yeah, but
that's great, man. Yeah, I'm probably gonna suck. I'm gonna use the warp tool though to try not to suck. Did you look at the warp on that yet, Scott Fishbowl?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I have. Have you?
I love it. Yes, I love it.
So do I. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I want to find out real quick, like how much Maddie, Cody's brother, Alan, like all the guys we hang with, how much they actually pay attention to the warp tool.
Well,
we're going to find out.
Well,
they're going to learn today.
What's going to be interesting to me is, like, since I'm not drafting with all of you guys, how much I either just decide to lean completely into warp if nobody drafts that way, or if everyone's going warp if I have to go against the grain.
Yeah.
Real quickly on Rhamondre,
back to
though.
the Rhamondre thing.
Yeah. Just tidy that up.
I didn't get it, and I think that's why Blitz was mad in the Discord. He didn't sound happy as the resident Patriots fan in our community. We haven't got Maddie's thoughts on it, so I don't know if Maddie likes it or not. But the only other Patriots fan I personally know hated it, and I can kind of see why. Because just as an innocent bystander, I was like, "What the? Why?"
One of the things,
but why?
One of the things that's weird, at least so far, I'm checking again just to make sure. Spotrac and Over the Cap, they don't have like all the details in there yet. Because 4 years, $36 million. If you tell me they can get out of it after a year, is so different. Like Josh Jacobs, for the record, they can get out after this year, and his contract was bigger. So I'm curious to see how the exact contract is structured. Mike, maybe you can find it, and I've had a hard time doing it. But I guess that's the other thing. Like, how much of not just how much is the other contracts guaranteed, how quickly can they move on, or how long have they really invested into the player? I think it's definitely stock up for Rhamondre Stevenson. I just don't know how much, how high I would really shift him into my dynasty rankings. I'd probably move him like 4 or 5 spots ahead of some backs that don't have contract certainty, but it's not going to swing it a ton. Also, because for me, Mike, this offense I just don't know anything about.
Yeah. I was just going to go look at our good friends. I say this all the time, and I don't know anybody over there. And I started my fantasy career just by ripping on it all the time. I was going to say the good friends at Keep Trade Cut, where they have Rhamondre now.
How much? How high? How high has he risen?
And how high has he gone? Just in running backs, he has gone up from somewhere in the RB 20s to now 17. So he's up 3 spots, since contract news.
And because of that, I'm out.
And because of that, I am out. Yeah, I'm good. They got him over Swift, Henry, Zahmyr White, Joe Mixon, Tajay Spears.
They got him over Henry?
Derrick Henry.
Right,
Henry's like 75 years old, so they just paid a 26-year-old running back 4-year deal. Like, that shit still means something these days, but hey.
I mean, I'm not going to act like it means nothing, but I just...
DeAndre Swift just got paid, didn't he?
Yeah, but Mike, nobody likes him anymore.
And he's younger.
So? It's DeAndre Swift. He can never stay healthy. He stinks. He's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, he's right around Josh Jacobs, Rashad White, Trey Benson ahead of him. I don't know. I guess maybe you can make the argument for him there. Like, maybe that's
I wouldn't put him
appropriate.
ahead of Henry.
Not for me.
I wouldn't put him ahead of Henry. I don't have a problem with early 20s, though.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's probably in the correct range. There's just a couple names he's ahead of that I would say nah.
If he gets ahead of Trey Benson, then we've lost our goddamn minds.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how the Trey Benson story gets written out, because that's either going to be a woof, what the hell were we thinking putting him in the neighborhood of Trey Benson, or what were we thinking putting Trey Benson into this range? I'm really curious to see which way it goes.
I mean, what Rhamondre's best finish was 2 years ago. He was RB10.
Joe,
in points per
see,
game.
this is one of the things I think that's so interesting. Now, obviously, this is kind of
Damn.
I think this is a little bit, on the spicier side. But
I
one of
wonder
the
if
things,
Joe's a Jets fan.
I feel like Joe
just-
Schmo might
just
not just.
taking
I feel
a
like this
guess.
might not be just any Joe Schmo, But
Is it Joe Namath?
that's spicy. That's crazier than what he just put. But one of the things I think that's interesting when we talk about Rhamondre Stevenson might have 3 or 4 years of playing the game, where Derrick Henry could be done after this year and might not even finish this year. One of the things when we get to this age point where it's like, all right, you maybe have 1 or 2 years of production for some of these older guys versus the younger players. I look at it like a lot of times in that conversation what I think gets missed is, what is the impact of that player on your team for all that time? Like I feel like there's still a very strong case where Rhamondre Stevenson could be a far more middling producer for your team over 3 to 4 years. And if Henry gave me 1 season of a top 12 running back still, the impact is far more for Derrick Henry in that 1 season. So I guess that's one of the things I think that's overlooked in Dynasty because of the longevity potential that we give people. I like this, by the way. Shades Mike just hits different.
Well, I'm looking at it. You know how anti-Josh Jacobs I've been this offseason? Like, what are we doing? And I'm always telling people to sell him, and I cite all these stats that don't make me feel warm and fuzzy about a guy like Josh Jacobs.
Don't worry, guys. We're going to get to your questions, but I'm listening.
And listen, I understand Rhamondre dealt with injuries last year, and maybe that played a part. So let me put the little asterisks in front of this. But when I look at his advanced analytics, they are Josh Jacobs bad without the volume. And that's even scarier.
Well, but here's my thing. Rhamondre Stevenson smashed for a season for us, right? We had a very nice season out of Rhamondre.
He had a good season. He was an RB1.
Yeah. Josh Jacobs, though, the difference for me, Mike, I project Green Bay at least without catastrophic change in problems.
Offense.
I think that offense, when I watched them down the stretch, you got the Cowboys jersey on. They put a fucking hurting on them Cowboys, all right?
I hate watching.
How about them Cowboys, huh? How about them Cowboys, Fizzle? That was when Fizzle renounced being a Cowboys fan, for the record. Just let the record show. That's what a true Cowboys fan does, all right? He's a CD fan at that point.
Until now. Now they're going to win the Super Bowl again.
I know. I want to have the record, show that part. Anyway. No, but that offense in Green Bay, I think that offense in Green Bay could be humming. So Josh Jacobs, I think, could be the beneficiary, regardless of which version you get, of attached to a very good offense and a guy that has been pretty good overall in his career at the goal line, right? Mike, I just don't know what to make at all of this Patriots offense. And if you told me with the uncertainty which way I'm leaning, I mean, no diddy, but you know which way I'm leaning. I mean, it's, come on. It's an offense that I project to be lower half of the NFL, if I'm being nice, right? And I don't know what Rhamondre Stevenson – the contract, I think, should mean that he's on the field more than not. But, does Antonio Gibson – I'm not going to say – I think Rhamondre is the 1A by a long shot. But is he pesky versus the snap share, essentially, right?
Pesky.
Does it make it a little bit – is he a little bit pesky as far as, does Rhamondre actually get a super high snap share? And then ultimately, is the offense good enough to where that matters? I think that's the part for me with Rhamondre, even baking this contract in, that I'm still struggling with internally.
I can get behind pesky Antonio Gibson.
There you go. You know who has
cheaper.
You know what's crazy is Antonio Gibson gave us 2 running back 1 seasons, but nobody likes him anymore. So
no, he's terrible. He's ass.
He stinks. Now, I'm not
Garbage.
telling you should put him ahead of Rhamondre. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell to make of this offense in general.
Yeah. We don't know. We don't know. Could be good. Could be bad. Adam, maybe sometimes good. Maybe sometimes shit.
I'm more of the shit mindset, as you can see all over the screen here.
Let's go. Hey, they start making them Red Bulls with alcohol in them yet? You still got to add your own.
Oh, you got to add your own. But, Mike, you want to talk about a crazy deal? We get Red Bull, like, to get into that game in the can. Oh, that'd be amazing.
So I was today years old when I learned what gin actually is, as far as an alcohol.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm listening, by the way. Gin. Well, I'll tell you my gin story in a little bit. But go ahead.
It's just further distilled vodka. So all that shit I've been talking about old people and their gin and like who the fuck drinks this, it's gonna be me real soon. Like it's a natural transition from vodka to gin, I think.
It's the older version. It's as you get older. It's aging, you know.
You need that juniper or tulip or whatever the fuck they put it in.
Well, what's crazy is it has a floral like scent or taste to it if you just drink this, right?
Yeah.
I'll never forget
juniper berries. That's what it is.
There you
juniper berries. Juniper.
When
That's
I first
tree, ain't it?
when I first got drunk, Mike, it was on some gin. Oh, I'll tell you, buddy.
Josh is on fire. Gin tastes like licking a tree.
It does, bro. And let me tell you, I was sick for like 2 days off of that shit, dude. Like, I'm talking about I've never really been drunk before, and I was just drinking this shit like it's water at the beach. Like, I felt like I was a tree. I couldn't move for 2 days. It was bad. Real bad.
It's the drink of gods. We got very, very different perspectives on gin here.
I will say, as I've gotten older, though,
argument has really swayed me.
I will say that it's more of an acquired taste, but actually, Mike, there's been some people that have got me into some like mixed drinks with gin, where I'm like, all right, this shit kind of hits. You know, it's not my drink of choice, but there's some times where I'm like, I don't hate this. I guess that's the way I'd put it.
I guess in some distilleries, say the vodka said, distilleries, when they make gin, Adam, when it first comes out, it's like 180 proof, so they have to,
take it down a notch. Yeah.
Take it down.
That's kind of like Mike.
It'd be interesting to see what 180 proof gin is like.
I can tell you. It's like Mike before and after the show. You know, it's the Mike when you start the show, he's all nice, bubbly, smiley. The Mike at the end,
he's
got the 66 in. He's just talking shit to every person on the camera. That's exactly what gin's like. At 180 proof. All right, let's get back on the rails a little bit here. We got questions. Okay. All right, we got a 12 team. Start 10, full PPR league, Mike. A-Rich, Kyler, Cousins, Baker. She's got 4 quarterbacks. I like that. Brees, Pacheco, B-Rob. That's Brian Robinson, not to be confused with the Bijan side. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Aiyuk, Kirk, Keenan, Deontay, McBride, 225 first, 426 first. Okay. Should I trade my 25 first projected late for Mike Evans and Mixon or hold for leverage?
I'm holding.
I wouldn't trade yours personally also on this deal.
I'm not trading a first for those two guys.
I don't like, I'll say this. Can I tell you why I wouldn't do this though? One, I've been on the wrong side of this type of a deal. But two, like, all right, when I look at your team and I just kind of think about this in a start 10 mode. Like, your quarterback room's solid, doesn't need any discussion anyway. But it doesn't make that room any better. When I look at what you're projecting to start at receiver, it's like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Aiyuk, Christian Kirk, Keenan, Deontay. Like, those 5, I feel like if you add Mike Evans into that, is it better? Sure. But is it leaps and bounds different? Like, I guess I don't view this as a needle mover to your win and loss column right now that much. To where I'd rather not have the first. That's if you told me that this really patched up one of your positions to make you an elite team, fine. Like, I'd be a lot more of the mindset of making this trade if you wanted to. To me, I kind of view this as your team isn't really. It's deeper. It's not that much better at the top though. So I don't feel like this actually is a trade that I need to make right now.
Yeah, I'd rather hold on to him for now and really explore some deals to get like a true superstar. Jefferson, CD Lamb, Fizz, CD Goat. Like, Jesus. I mean, you got 4 of them. Oh, 2 25 first and 4 26 first. Jesus.
Correct.
So six in total.
Right.
In a start 10, could I throw 4 of those at the guy who's got CeeDee Lamb where it's just too much for him to say no?
Well, I mean, you never. That also ultimately depends on the league and how people value shit. But basically, once you start throwing four first of any capacity to anybody, even if they're telling you no, they're gonna listen. They're gonna be like, this is intriguing, right?
Speaking of this has been my life, okay? Especially now that I'm older and I got a stable job. And,
now that you're drinking gin, yeah.
Well, yeah, well, more sophisticated, right?
Right,
I'm better
exactly.
off financially than I ever was, right? Now, not saying anything, but as you get older in life, you start making better financial decisions. You get more comfortable.
I really
You got a
wish that
house.
was the case for me. But yeah, I'm listening.
It happens. It's weird that there's like a switch that gets flipped at some point where you're like, oh shit. You know, back in the day when you're struggling and like if your TV fell off the fucking wall, you're like, gee, how the fuck am I going to pay for a new one? Like I got to put this on a credit card and then I'm going to get fucked and like I got to work like overtime to make this up now. At some point like you get it and you're like, it'd suck if my TV fell off the fucking wall but like I'll go get a new one. All right, it'll be fine. I don't got to worry about I'm not going to be able to eat or pay my car note anymore. Right? Like that's kind of where it happens with age. It really does. I can't tell you exactly when, Adam, but at some point you're like, we're doing all right. All right? We're doing all right. I'll say this, though. When you talk about at some point, even if they're like hesitant and they say no, I will say this as somebody who's now got some more disposable income to throw around. This is my life when I go to certain adult establishments is I'm not the greatest looking guy. All right? But if you throw enough at them, now you're the king. Now they love you. You're the best.
One of my old bosses, I could not stand this dude. Most of the shit he said. You know what, Adam? The older I get, the better looking I get.
He's full of shit.
No, but he means that because he's got fucking money and he can throw the money around and that
Well,
makes
there
him
you go.
better looking. Yeah, it's
So
to
I'm
your
turning
point.
into your old
Right.
boss.
Exactly. Now, you said
Without
it in a
the
much more
shitty accent.
a much more eloquent way and not quite as making me want to punch you in the face, but
Please don't.
same idea.
I wouldn't do well in prison.
I know I wouldn't. Mike, for the record, this trade to me. I think I've already said what I need to say about it. I don't view your team right now as that much better on the surface today.
If this was a best ball league, would you consider it more?
Absolutely. In a best ball league, I'd do this.
Yeah, okay, there we go. There's the line. Lineup start 10. I say now. Don't do it because you don't have to. This kind of deal, whether it's for Evans and Mixon, may not be there, but something very similar will be there September.
Yeah. Just not. It's. But for the record, we could look back in 8 weeks from now. 8 weeks into the season, let me say. And you're like, man, I wish I would have made this trade. Or if you make this trade today, you could look back 8 weeks in the season and be like, man, this worked out so well. But I'll just tell you, the risk reward is not. For example, if you made this trade, and a lot of these older guys you have get hurt, and your team is still really good, but not necessarily getting a bye, this pick ends up becoming the 107 or something. Like it can go a lot worse than it can go, I think, really well for you here. I think you just have it's timing for me too. A lot of it's timing. I'm not interested in this now. Patience.
Just be patient. Patience. We're in the Dynasty dead period. Be patient. Good shit will come.
Probably a dumb question, but what's a good business email for roster review stuff? You can send it to mine at atm@southharmonff.com. But we have dynastyteamreview.com. You can just order one straight up on that website. But if you want something in particular, something special, send an email to myself. Send it to Mike. His is TDK, Teardown King at southharmonff.com. Zach, ask us, the stuff part. It seems like you're a little specific. Like you got a, Mike, no Diddy, but you got a little, a little fetish. You got a fetish? We'll entertain it. We're into that type of stuff.
Can I get a team review? But I want your feet right next to the camera the whole time.
It's like that. What's that video where? Actually, you know what? It's too early in the night for all that. Let me backtrack.
Yeah, I mean we're still like halfway, so we're good. We got a little bit, Adam. Patience, like the Greg Lannister trade. Was it Lannister? Laster? Oh, fuck. I'm sorry, Greg. I'm into this Game of Thrones mood, so everything's a Lannister anymore.
I was going to say, Mike, I thought you were going somewhere like... I thought you were actually going down the Game of Thrones road, but you just messed up. That's fine. I get it.
I know. I'm fucked up.
I binge-watched that show like twice. I 100% get it, by the way. I traded Addison for Evans in a second on a contending team. Okay. I actually feel like that's a totally different conversation, though.
Yeah.
You're not getting rid of any pick liquidity, and you also are getting a plus where you can make that second into something too. So I don't mind this. I don't mind this type of a trade at all.
It's not bad, Joe. Not bad. Not bad at all.
I'm a little leery of Addison. I think his value retention will be just fine, though, probably. But I'm a little leery of his production value relative to his cost at the moment. I'll say that.
There you go.
Debro
doesn't like him at all.
I'm not probably to that point, but I feel like he might be a little overvalued at the moment. I like this. Mike's roster review. Team needs more quarterbacks. But
that's standard.
That's for sure. But that the question up top was you come with 4 quarterbacks like he had, Greg Lannister. Okay. That's Mike, if you tell me your quarterback room is A-Rich, Kyler, Cousins, Baker.
Lastner.
Fuck. Lannister. I'm with you though. Greg Lannister. Greg, you're Lannister from now on. Oh,
sorry, Greg.
This was a good question here. Stevenson or Najee for 2024? Najee in production, I'll take Najee Harris. But I think for Dynasty, I think Dynasty the conversation's a lot different though.
Stevenson will trade for more, but Najee will probably be more beneficial to my team.
I think in Dynasty, the market now will be reflective of Stevenson being higher, but I think I want Najee for 24. I just feel like Najee and Arthur Smith just feels like a fucking pairing that people are going to hate, but Dynasty and fantasy football is going to like for me. That's kind of where I'm at.
How many years are we going to do this Jalen Warren thing?
Every one of them.
Harris there.
Every one of them.
As long as they're together.
Did we do it last year? Didn't we start to do it the year prior? It should, Mike. It's like gin. It's going to continue to get stronger with time. All right.
Do you remember? We'll go back in the time machine.
Do you remember
last year when there was a big hubbub because Najee Harris wasn't introduced as one of the starters?
Of course.
You know who else wasn't introduced as a starter?
Mike Tomlin.
Jalen Warren.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin. Yeah, their defensive coordinator either. The punter.
Guess what though? If they did it again, if they did it again today, you know who would be? Arthur fucking Smith.
He would be.
Arthur Smith. I don't know. Najee feels like he's going to be forever hated too. So it's kind of a combination.
That might be the first time anybody's ever referred to him as Arthur fucking Smith. Usually it's the goes before Arthur.
Yeah,
fucking Arthur Smith.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of at this point, Mike. I'm kind of. There's times where I want to lean into being hated or really riling people up. I feel like at this point, Arthur Smith is just that for people. Yeah, so why not lean into it? Dude. He's gonna piss people off. He's gonna piss me off. He's gonna piss everybody off. But why not piss someone else off too? You know.
I'd say he'd really lean into it. He just gives Cordell Patterson all the work.
Mike, could you imagine though if Najee Harris ends up getting anywhere near now? I think the days of him in his rookie season, that touch count was just outrageous. Like that was all. People kind of forget the receiving work that he got that year. But if he got, I'd say even 80% of that, that's like insane volume that he could end up getting in this offense with Arthur Smith. I just really could see it coming.
Yeah, just run him into the ground.
I think people are kind of saying, yeah, any sort of points per carry is Najee. I'd say Najee for this year. I think for the season, I want Najee. But in Dynasty, I could definitely understand you might be able to trade Rhamondre for more. I just feel like, Mike, I don't know. Can I really I feel like a lot of it's fake. Can I trade a lot of these running backs that aren't the primo ones for shit, for anything? I feel like most oftentimes it's no, you know?
Is what you can trade Rhamondre for that much more than what you can trade Najee for?
I can't trade Najee for anything. So if you can't trade Rhamondre for anything, then the answer is yes.
I'm just asking because it's 2025, Adam. Like, how much more do you project dynasty value Rhamondre has than a Najee Harris?
That's what I say. Like, to me, that question doesn't really exist because I'm viewing them in 1 to 2 year windows anyway. So, I guess if you live in a market where running backs are more tradable, then I'd lean Rhamondre for trading. This one to me here is there's 2 separate questions. For 2024, I feel more confident in Devonta Smith. For beyond, I feel more confident in Odunze.
There you go.
Are you with that, or are you different than that?
I think it's fair. I might even say Odunze for 2024 because we just don't know.
Yeah, I feel more confident in Devonta Smith for 24. But if you told me Odunze ended up being much more relevant than people want to give him credit for, and by the second half of the season was looking like him, I won't be shocked. Like I've only done one underdog best ball draft. You know who's on my fucking team? Or Odunze. Like, yeah.
Odunze.
At cost? Absolutely.
I got like $70 to burn when I come out to Canton. In an underdog friendly state.
I love that.
Just to empty out the coffers. We're done. All 70 going in.
Now, so that's the question answered, at least for me. You will, though, if we're talking about Dynasty, it's Odunze by a healthy amount for me.
I would trade my Smitty straight up for Odunze.
Yeah, 100%.
Every Dynasty league I'm in.
Every single one with you.
All. I like Devonta Smith. I'm an Eagles fan, even though I'm wearing this fucking Cowboys jersey tonight.
You see that the gin starting to talk, baby. That gin's starting to talk.
It's just vodka. It ain't gin yet. I didn't put juniper in it.
But you already said it. Vodka is gin, so it's
But you gotta have juniper. It's
I
like
it goes. It doesn't go both ways.
Bourbon.
Huh? I know.
Right.
Bourbon. All bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon. That's right.
Nailed it. All gin is vodka.
But not all vodka is gin. I like that.
Not all vodka.
Look at Mike trying to be, Mr. Proper. I love this.
Well, you remember when I was out there and you had me drink good bourbon for the first time? And you're like, you gotta like twirl it, smell it.
Yeah,
Adam, I'll teach you how to drink vodka. You pour it in the glass.
You chug it. Mike, here's how you do it. You plug your nose.
It's delicious.
No, actually, that's literally all I used to drink when I was getting drunk in college. Just drink the shit out of vodka.
One night I'll show you how to make a vodka lemonade. You start with ice in a glass. You take your vodka. You fill your glass all the way up.
This dude right
and then
here,
you drink
it. See, this is why you got to be careful about having this dude out to your cookouts. Fizzle. He don't mean any harm, but next thing you know, people are gonna be. What's up with this Mike character? He's kind of funny, but he's kind of crazy,
Oh, psychotic.
What do you add to Smitty to snag Odunze? I probably, I'll be honest here. I'm not gonna add a ton, but what about? Would you add a second, Mike? Lineup league, I would do a second.
Lineup league, I think a second would be fair. Best ball, no, fuck off. I'm good.
I'm with you. I
Close
think in best ball, I don't necessarily view the upside projection and what I'm trying to do with my team quite the same too. So like I'm not really in the business of. In best ball, I don't need to have Rome by leaps and bounds ahead of Smitty. The idea of it in lineup is very different for me, so that's why I'm with you. I would add a second. I think if it's anything past that, though, like I would take if I could trade Odunze for Smitty in a first, I'm doing that. So there's levels to this.
There is levels to it. The keep trade cut actually does have Odunze just slightly ahead of Smitty, so take that for what it's worth.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I think it's right though. I think it's right.
I think it's right. I think in the lineup, I'd add a second to the best ball. Piss off. I'll give you some $5 in fat.
You know what the sport? Hey, I caught that part of Fizzle Friday. Man, I was literally dying, fucking laughing at that shit out loud. That's
fucking
awesome.
Give me a spork. I can't get more.
I went to a small school in North Carolina called Lees McRae College, right near Appalachian State. So actually, when I went to Lees McRae, Mike, I transferred in my junior year. I was at Wheeling Jesuit for 2 years in West Virginia before that. I went to Lees McRae the year after App State beat Michigan, and that was like, let's just say App State it still is, but was a fucking football. It was crazy on Saturdays down there in Boone, man.
You know it is a East Coast school or an Eastern Coast school, like across from the Mississippi, if it's got two names. Right? Like,
there you go. I like that.
Wheeling Jesuit, Lees McRae.
There you go.
Right, everything west of the Mississippi, we're too fucking stupid, so we just give it one name so we don't fuck it up. Iowa.
What's actually funny is I never heard it that way, but I love that. Yeah.
It does feel like all the two name schools are on the east side, right? Like James Madison.
There are, yeah.
They always name them after somebody else. Out west, they're like, we don't got anybody.
Yeah, I like Mike's kind of going with the yuppie. He's kind of giving more of the yuppie feel. I kind of get it though, especially when you get more like, upper east. It's definitely that way. But I love it. Paul Wallace White.
Thanks, Fizz.
Such a great episode.
I'm glad you reminded me too, because I would have forgot.
Yeah, I played long time ago. I played basketball in college. I feel so old. Like, I feel so old now. It's crazy. We are old for the record.
Before we got on to do the trade show, Adam, I was watching the pre-NBA draft coverage, and all them kids look like fucking babies, man. I don't know if it was just this year or what, but every one of them kids, I'm like, yeah, them motherfuckers are 18, 19 years old tops. Every single one.
Oh, shit. Jake.
There wasn't an old-looking dude amongst them.
No. Hell no. Mike, and then, like, when I start watching, when I'm watching games and I see the players that I, like, have longer tenures, you're like, damn, he's old now? Fuck. Like, Drew Holiday's been playing this long? Like, holy shit.
LeBron's kid is in this draft, for fuck's sake.
All right. Yeah, stop it. I'm really sorry.
I had them LeBron ones, all right?
I know.
I had the LeBron ones in high school, for fuck's sake.
Jake, if the game wasn't a 7 o'clock game, just know it was still flowing through my veins. That's how we used to drink up there at Lees McRae, man. That's how I used to get down, for sure.
Is that why the record was bad?
I'll say I did my part.
You did all right?
Yeah. I was, like, we won 6 games. And I made the all-conference team, which, like, that means if you're in a team that keeps losing and they put you in the all-conference team, that means, like, the coaches actually thought something of you. But
yeah, so
I was definitely like, I could have been playing better if I wasn't hungover for sure.
What, like a 28, 30 game season? Is that kind of what?
Yeah, we were 6 and 20 actually. My senior season.
It's not bad. Could have been worse.
We were 3-1 before Thanksgiving, and then it went downhill from there.
You were kind of like the Indiana Fever, and you were basically Caitlin Clark.
Yeah. What's cool though is like starting to get things switched around. They won the conference now. It's actually a pretty good little team now, but just a long way from me being there.
Did they win it like right after you left?
No, they had Mike, the assistant coach when I was there. He's now the head coach. There was a lot of that was part of the problem. The head coach was.
So that's definitely more palatable. When I was playing football in college, Adam, my freshman year, we won 2 fucking games, and one of them was against a cupcake school that was like sister of fucking St. Mary's Culinary Academy for the blind.
Yeah. You beat a school that really wasn't even like accredited.
Yeah, it was like 56-0. Like right. It was a fucking high school JV team. That's what we beat, and then we ended up beating our crosstown rivals, which was a big game for us. But those are the only 2 fucking games. The rest of the games we got fucking piss pounded. Within like 3 years, like after I left college, these motherfuckers are like on the verge of making the Division III playoffs.
Okay. With
a new coaching staff, and like they got dudes going all conference. They had a kid get drafted in the NFL, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Damn. Okay.
Where was this shit when I was there?
Yeah.
They got a new field, new fucking gym. They got a new weight center, like everything, like new track, like all kinds of cool shit. They're taking trips overseas to like play against like German teams. I was like, what the fuck?
less than 4 years ago, that no one at school even knows what that version of where you went there was like. I get it. I definitely get that for sure. No,
motherfuckers.
We actually, when I was there though, we beat Barton, who actually won the Division II title in 07. So that was just 2 years ago. So we had some good little wins, but no, we needed a lot. There was a whole lot of turnover that needed to take place, and it finally did long after I was there. Anyway, I don't even see any questions. Everyone's just kind of listening to us talk. I love it. By the way, this is I'm going to put it on the screen at this point. Paul Wall is in fact white. Mike, I will say when I was you had me in tears, bro, that night when I was watching that Fizzle Friday. It was pretty awesome.
You and I have a blast, and we've been doing this for so long. I have to highlight Fizzle and how good he is at doing his show on Friday night. If you guys watch this and you love it, listen, if you come for just the fantasy football questions on AMA, and that's all you're here for, you hate the story time and all this bullshit tangents we get off of, I get it. Maybe Friday won't be for you, but if you like what me and Adam do, Jesus, go check out Fizzle.
Fizzle Fridays is great, bro.
Fizzle Friday. Fizzle, it does such a good job. He's such an easy guy to talk to. He's such a good guy to bullshit with. He gets Koopa to say terrible hands.
Dude.
just god-awful.
Bro,
horrendous.
Dog. Actually, you know what? That reminds me. I got a good story from college. So, Mike, we cared a lot more about what was going on off the court than on the court. I'll just say, like going out, getting no Diddy
being
type
college
stuff.
Kids.
Yeah,
being college kids.
So we used to go to where ETSU is, 45 minutes up the road, Johnson City, right? So we started really tearing it up and kind of having a little name for ourselves up there. First Thursday night of school's back in session, we're looking around the club and literally like there's all these Lees McRae people. And I'm like, man, what in the hell? Like now all of a sudden Lees McRae is coming up here. We had a freshman who was not even 18 at the time. He had a fake ID. Dude gets in there and gets banded like he's 21. And so the whole time, instead of going to like the club and trying to get on girls and stuff, he's at the bar ordering shots. Dude gets absolutely blacked out, obliterated, right? Next thing you know, he ends up outside of the club, outside like hammered, talking shit to people he shouldn't be talking shit to. Gets punched, knocked out, defecates himself. Literally, so he gets arrested.
He shit himself?
Yeah. Gets arrested. He's under 18, so in order to get you out of jail, you have to have your dad or your parents, your parental guardians, get involved. So, sure enough, now the coach is going to find out, right? So the next day, the reason I'm thinking about this when you had Koopa say that, it was one of those moments I always think about this. When Coach had us, he called us all of the locker room. I had to look, I'll never forget, into that ugly-ass green carpet the whole time. Because if I would have looked up at any one of my teammates, I would have just started dying laughing. We would have been just so fucked. So I just looked dead in that carpet. When Koopa said that, I was just like, damn, that's one of those that you'll never forget when he But he goes, Coach was saying, men, I like that you're doing something together as a team. Y'all went out and, had a good night, but on a school night, you probably didn't get home till what, 10, 11 o'clock at night? Bro, right. I'm literally looking down thinking Coach, we weren't even in the club yet at 11 o'clock. He was just so clueless. I'd have to give you a lot more context, but he was just extremely naive and did not run things right. To think that we were home by 11 o'clock, it's just insane,
It's so funny that you talk about that, not trying to laugh.
Yeah,
to look at it.
If I would have looked at any one of my teammates' eyes, bro, I would have been in tears, laughing.
The second time we got busted, all right, so they do bed checks, especially the first couple weeks of camp, because there's really no other students on campus but the football players. We report early or whatever. They got curfew, and then they got bed checks, the whole fucking thing. We got busted one time before, some dudes had a little party or a little soiree. And coaches caught him, and we had to fucking run.
Well, I love that soiree.
The second time we got busted, there was probably 7 or 8 people that had girls in their room after curfew.
Okay.
Girls in their room. Mm-hmm. So the next day we're out there running, and coach is fucking screaming at us, y'all got all this energy to be fucking, y'all can be running. And this one kid looks up and he goes, Coach, if you had Katie Horsfield in the room last night, you ain't got no energy left. And I was like, oh no. Oh no, we about to run 10 miles. Oh, no. Goddamn, Katie Horsfield got us.
Oh, shit. Name dropping, too?
He fucking name dropped
That's
him.
crazy. Bro, that's crazy.
I was like, oh, no.
Damn. That's
That's
low-key that's low-key legendary. You know what, though? It's one of those where, like, if I was listening to that, I'd have been pissed. But now that it's once the running's over, it's like, all right, man, I can respect what the fuck you did.
We kind of knew he had this rule. He'd run until somebody puked. So we're all looking at the fat-ass offensive lineman and being like, just stick your fingers down your throat, you fat fuck. Get it over with. We tired. Do it. Bigums. Shove that fist right in there. Let's get the fuck out of here. Shout out Katie Horsfield. I miss you.
Oh, man. That was Lily before Lily.
She's goated.
Dude, I feel like right now I laugh so hard that I can't really talk right yet. I'm lightheaded.
Right. Fizzle's right. She's the OG Hawk Tua.
That's what I was talking about. Hawk Tua, Lily. Oh my gosh, bro. This is before Hawk Tua was Hawk Tua, Katie was her, you know.
Before Hawk Tua, there was Katie Horsfield.
There was Horsfield.
Spit on that thing.
All right. Goodness. All right. How should I address a 14-team start 10 in a startup? Dirty Bird, I'll just tell you, Mike, it doesn't even need the 14-team part of this to say quarterbacks.
Quarterbacks.
I mean, but yeah, in a 14-team, I guess it depends on where your pick is. I will say, like, in the 14 teams I was in and I see now, you won't be surprised to see like 12 quarterbacks in a row. So at a certain point, like, I'm not gonna draft, to your point, Jared Goff now. But
no,
like, there's if I can have one of the top 12 quarterbacks in this format, it's huge.
I would say just universally, almost exclusively, I would probably take quarterbacks in the first 2 rounds. CeeDee's going to be amazing too. So if you had CeeDee Lamb in consideration there,
well, that's where, like,
shout out to the jersey.
Attaboy. Well, that's where, like, I guess it kind of depends, because, like, I'm just thinking, like, I'm definitely going to draft A-Rich, a lot of these, but at a certain point, like, I'm going to draft Kyler, obviously. There's a lot of quarterbacks, Jordan Love. I'm trying to think where the real fall off, though. I'm probably still drafting Herbert, Jaden Daniels. I guess it's around, like, that, you know, Purdy Goff range where I'm maybe now I'm not really drafting them.
Well, just remember, too, you can take my video that I did for a 12-teamer and just kind of apply this logic, right? Quarterbacks have even more value, so especially in the first 2 rounds, that's kind of going to be where you lean. And then if you want to take, like, the next 5 picks as wide receivers at them, 6 picks, 7 picks as wide receivers, go for it. And then you just start the taking of the running backs or the taking of the tight ends. Instead of round 10, it's more like round 9 because you got 2 extra teams drafted in every single round. If you do some simple math in your head, right, you knock a round off every 6.
Good point. You know, Mike, this reminds me, like, we're talking about college days. A couple of my teammates, like, we could go out crazy and then go right back, get right to it, play basketball. Like, you and I feel like are some of the people that can, like, get completely off the rails. I was having a hard time speaking for a second. I was like, I was getting lightheaded. And we just here, 14 team, start 10. We'll start talking to you right back on it.
Right back in. Oh,
it's a derby draft. Go ahead. What'd you say?
Lakers took a good pick.
Who'd they get?
Dalton Connect, the
really?
3-point marksman out of Tennessee.
What pick did they have?
17.
Okay.
So they didn't take Bronny James, everybody. Stop panicking.
That's coming next round.
J.J. Redick took the next J.J. Redick. Does that fit?
Wow.
He's going to be a role player, but he shoots really well.
I think that'd be a good little career for him, honestly, if he was J.J. Redick. All right, it's a derby draft.
That would be.
We'll be picking draft order soon. Try and target the back end to get 2 solid QBs, then him or receivers. I think actually in 14 team. Well, what's your take here, Mike?
I would actually in 14 team. I know it
go to the
seems
front.
Counterintuitive. Yep. I would go to the front.
I'm 100% with you
because Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts, etc., are gonna just fucking.
In 14 team, it also comes to depth. Mike, if you gave me one of those top 5 quarterbacks, and then even though it's 3rd round reversal and all that, like I'm willing to take the next 2 picks that come to me. I'm fine with it. Just the security of one of those quarterbacks is huge in this format.
This is just my personal preference, right? But if it's 12-team third-round reversal, I usually like to pick 12, 11, 10, 1, 2, 3, and then anything else I'll just go as late as I possibly can, right?
Sure.
Those are my personal choices. In 14, that almost gets flipped where it's like 1, 2, 3, 12, or 14, 13, 12, and then I'm trying to get as early as possible.
Yeah, the thing about it is for me,
floppy.
If you get like 13 or 14 in 14 team, it's not that you couldn't walk away with a combination of like Jordan Love and Justin Herbert or, A. Rich and anything's possible. I just know that I probably don't have anywhere near the security as drafting those top 5 picks. And if any one of them bust, all of a sudden I don't have anywhere near the same security. And then realistically, even in the back part of, like if you're let's say the 105, so when it comes back to you, that'd be, math is hard right now, the 2, I don't know, whatever that is, the 209, 210, something like that. That player still is a really good player. Like I can get a Tyreek Hill there for sure. I can get someone that's still really, really good, and I'd much rather have the security of that elite quarterback in that format.
The other thing I'll ask you for context, because we kind of always overlook it, and I'm trying to do my best to make sure this becomes an emphasis, is it 4-point passing touchdown or 6-point? Because that changes.
That's actually a good call out.
Everything.
And I'm with you, Jake, by the way. Yeah,
Holy
Daniels would be
shit.
one of the last of that tier that I'm taking. Otherwise, I'd be looking receiver. I'm with you.
They didn't. They voted against third-round reversal like a bunch of fucking ignoramuses. You like that word?
How do you not? Well, with that, there's no way I don't take the front part of the draft.
Easily.
Give me the
first part.
Every single. If I'm in the, I don't care what pick I have in the Derby. I'm taking the earliest pick I possibly can without the reversal every time. There's not even a discussion. That's crazy. 14 teams, bro. Give me the 101. Give me the 102. Give me the 103. Like, that's outrageous.
I fucked that up too. I tried to throw a big word in there, and I say ignore anus like ass.
Yeah.
It's Amos with an M.
Well, I wasn't going
Now
to be the
I'm
one
an
to correct you. I kind of like you talking anus on this shit show. It's
Listen, that's like when you say corpse.
corpse. Yeah.
Corpse. Yeah. Just core. But I'd never correct you till now.
What do you mean? The
Now I'm
corpse?
the asshole. Yeah, like if you say Marine Corps, CORP, wide receiver core, CORP.
Yeah. I'm talking.
Just core.
Oh, I'm talking are you talking about when I say like the corpse of Zeke Elliott? Like the body?
No,
I'm talking,
no, that's correct. That's correct. But if you talk about the wide receiver.
The wide receiver core, yeah. When I say corpse, I'm definitely misusing the word 100%.
Like me saying ignoramus and just throwing my sexual deviancy. There we go. There's another big word.
There you go.
When it's ignoramus, it's kind of like learning Paul is white.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting educated.
There you go. One thing about teammates is like, you just take the L. You don't have to drag your other teammate down with you, but teach their own,
That's true.
Right.
Just call me an asshole and let's get to the next question.
Got to dip out. I will catch this on the backside. See, much like the anus part.
See you, Harry Snowman.
Great stuff so far, boys. Keep that shit up. Appreciate you, Harry Snowman.
What is a Harry Snowman? Is that the fucking Yeti?
Is it the abominable snowman?
Rudolph?
That's what
From
that
Rudolph?
is. That's the correct word. The abominable snowman, right?
Abominable snowman. What is that guy's name? Cornelius.
Yeah, Cornelius was the like miner guy or whatever. Cole.
Yeah, the one who likes gold and silver.
What's it? Yeah, Cornelius. Isn't it just Cornelius? Was there a second word to it?
I thought he had like a title.
You're probably right. This is Cornelius Rudolph. I'm trying to type this out and I don't even know. Yukon Cornelius. There you go. Yukon Cornelius.
Yukon. Fuck us. God
Yep.
damn it.
Yukon
We're
Cornelius.
so close. Isn't it
Smash
crazy
that
to
like.
look back at that?
I think Harry Snowman actually
film?
just dipped out though, because I would love to hear his answer. But I like it regardless. Say it again.
Isn't it weird to look back at that like little movie, I guess if you want to call it,
Yeah.
and see that everything's like done in like clay claymation?
Oh yeah, dude. Rudolph's goated in my mind.
Could you imagine the people who had to like adjust the little clay every single time to make them look like they're walking or having like that's fucking. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Talk about tedious.
Yeah, I mean, now to be fair, back then, like, expectations were far different,
True.
Like, but it was ahead of its time, I would say. How much? Hold on. Now I feel like I'm trying to keep up with the comments. Here we go. All right. Is Aiyuk a sell high? Doesn't seem like his situation is getting fixed in San Fran. Not sure if he keeps his value with a new team in year one. This actually was something I talked about in New York briefly, but I'm curious your take on this. I have something to say for sure.
Wow, this is a tough one. Because what we do know about that San Francisco offense, while volume for anybody outside of Christian McCaffrey is like tough to get, because Adam, we use the cliche all the time, right? Too many mouths to feed. If this was a Matt Kelly Podfather show, there'd be a sounder and fucking bells and whistles going off about the cliche. But I think it does apply with him. But what we do know about the offense, even though that there's a lot of really good talent there and the ball kind of gets diversified, is that the offense is really fucking efficient. Like really, really efficient. And everybody seems to eat to an extent. And Aiyuk especially, like you would think that it'd be tougher with Debo there and Kittle and CMC, but Aiyuk carved out a really nice like little target share for himself and pretty consistent. And you add in the efficiency and you go, man, Aiyuk is actually kind of a little bit underrated. Like we think there's too many mouths to feed, but Brandon Aiyuk is the number one alpha wide receiver there by far and away. What happens, though, if Brandon Aiyuk goes to a less efficient offense, but his target rate goes from 25% to fucking 30%? Does that offset the efficiency difference? I would say yes, and I would say like his value changes almost none for me then. Right? Hypothetically, if he went to the Patriots where we don't even know what the fuck to expect, talking about Rhamondre, I think it'd be fine. I think it'd be fine because he walks in as a clear number one, and listen, every fucking third pass play better be going to Brandon Aiyuk. Like, we're not even going to look at anybody else. It's Aiyuk, Aiyuk, Aiyuk. So, I don't know. I think the offset would be fine. I guess the more concerning one, and it's probably the Washington scenario. Like, I love Jane Daniels. Terry McLaurin's there, though. Zach Ertz is there. Jane Daniels is a running quarterback. He's also a rookie. If you were to go there, like, how does that work out as far as target share? Maybe the targets wouldn't be there and the offense isn't as efficient as San Francisco. Maybe that would be a situation that hurt him, but I think that's kind of a one-off, in my opinion. So I think even if Aiyuk got, like, dealt, I think I'm just treating him kind of the same that he is right now.
Yeah, I think for context, I want to at least put this in the air. Definitely, you could make the strong argument that the efficiency or the quality of targets and all that is very nice. Being a part of that offense where there's so many people that you have to be concerned with, that you can have, you can be really efficient and have like really good. You know, his yard per reception was really high too. One thing that always sticks with me though, Mike, when I met Eric Armstead at my buddy Steve's wedding. By the way, Steve played with me at Leeds McRae College, tying that whole thing back in. He was in that room. I definitely didn't want to look at Steve's eyes. If I would have looked at Steve's eyes, I'd been dying. But Eric told me when I asked him about several different players, when I asked him about Aiyuk, he just said two words to me: route runner, and just like long pause, and then said like he reminds him so much of a younger version of Devonta Adams, and that his separation and his footwork and route running is just impeccable. And I just, for the record, targets last year, okay? Elijah Moore and Jacoby Myers. What do you think of those two? Because that's the amount of targets that Brandon Aiyuk was in the realm of those two guys.
No shit.
He had 100. Guys, I'm being honest. Like he was 30th in the NFL in targets. If there was a place where he goes, let's even call it Washington, but are you telling me that Brandon Aiyuk isn't a guy that can get open enough to earn some of the top 12, the alpha number in targets? And if that happens, I don't even care about the efficiency anymore. I think that right now, sometimes we're just so used to the situation he's in that we may be looking at the situation wrong, and that there actually could, I think, be more upside to him going to a new situation than we want to give him credit for, because he's leaving this great San Francisco offense.
I can get behind it. I was going to go look and see if Mr. Legend Matthew Harmon had a chart on Brandon Aiyuk from last year.
I'm sure he does. But 6.6 targets per game? Like, I mean, man. I'm looking.
Extremely low.
It's crazy low, man. And I'm just looking at a lot of the metrics for him. This is a guy that I think he could thrive anywhere. I definitely don't. I would prefer, all things being equal, probably him still to stay in Frisco. But I just feel like we're acting like he can't go thrive in another situation. I don't personally believe that's the case.
See, I don't know enough about this metric to make a educated soliloquy. That came out terrible. But
let's go.
A diatribe, may you. But expected fantasy points per game, Aiyuk is one of the few ones when I'm like looking at stuff that is a plus. Right? Like his expected fantasy points per game is less than what he actually delivered.
For the record,
usually, even for the great ones,
it's the other way.
It's a negative.
It's
still a negative. It's just a scale.
So his actual fantasy points per game is number 16 in the league. His expected fantasy points per game was number 31 in the league. That's kind of, and ultimately the moral of the story there, really kind of condensing it, is this dude is outrageously more efficient than the volume he's getting. And I think that really speaks to him being a product of the San Francisco offense. But you're telling me the expected fantasy points per game don't get to a top 15, 12 level if he's in a situation where he could earn 150 targets easy? I actually feel like I would still, like I said, if you told me all things equal, I let him stay in Frisco where I know he's going to have hyper efficiency in this offense. But I'm not fearful of him going to a lot of other situations. I mean, obviously, I don't want him to play for a quarterback that sucks, but all that being said, I put this off for way too long. Let's go, Sean Crystal.
What's up, Dad?
What the fuck? Is my son wearing a Dallas shirt?
That's what happens, Dad, when you lose a bet. Dad should fucking know because we bet on the fucking Eagles-Dolphins game, and he had to wear a Jalen Hurts jersey around. I got to ask him, Dad, if you're still here, do you still own that? And if you do, did you get it in a size 3XL by chance? You know, just in case you needed to give it away?
Man,
he got the Kelly Green one, too.
I'll tell you one thing.
Fire.
Mike's trying to just kind of skate by this like it isn't crazy. His dad's having to throw a super chat on here to really flame him. He's just trying to act like nothing's happening. I love this.
That's all right.
Appreciate you, Sean. I appreciate you, Sean. I really do.
I'll see him soon, and I'll just beat the shit out of him. Like, we're at that point now. I love my pops to death, too, but
family matters.
Back when I was a teenager, you had a lot of fun beating the fuck out of me, you know? Like, hey.
I've been waiting on this moment.
Yo, motherfucker, I've been practicing.
It's like when Brandon Ayuk's out of the system. He might just fucking go crazy.
I've been eating steak, egg, and cheese bagels from McDonald's, bulking up. By the way, Adam, you know how I commented last year about how awesome it was at the expo that Canton McDonald's had the steak, egg, and cheese bagel.
Okay.
Just a few months ago, our McDonald's here brought that motherfucker back. So
y'all didn't have it before?
Oh, no, we hadn't had it for years.
Dude, Mike, can I tell you? This is gonna.
I've gotten laid more than I've had fucking steak, egg, and cheese bagels, and I'm a married man.
And that's saying a lot, yeah.
That's fucking saying a lot.
Let me tell you, Mike. When we would do start sit, my Sunday ritual for like that was that we're not going to get to church that day, so I'd probably do that on like Saturday night, do it online. But man, I'll tell you, I get up, I would go get steak, egg, and cheese bagel every morning before we had Star Shit Show, buddy. That was a staple every Sunday morning.
Staple.
You got to get over there. Oh yeah, absolutely, Mike. You
like I got to go. Show's over. I got to poop.
Dude, if you ever thought like if I was running a little late or I had to immediately get out of there, there's a reason for it. Those are so good though, so good. Steak, egg, and cheese bagel.
I mean, this is the best cat you're ever gonna eat.
Well, cat in the hat,
Cat in the bagel.
All
cat
right.
in the bagel.
There was a question on here that I wanted to get to. Damn it.
He said he still has that piece of shit. Thank you.
Are you talking about the bagel and are you talking about the steak, egg, and cheese bagel? Let's see.
Dad, the I goes before the E. Come on. Come on.
I think that's a crystal thing,
The spelling. Dad, type out ignoramus.
I'm glad to see Sister Mary's School for this is what I wanted to put up here.
Sister Mary's School for the Blind.
I knew
it was culinary school though, so it was like the offshoot.
When this comment came up, I was like, this has to go on the screen. But your dad put the super chat. Oh shit! I almost couldn't find this one.
Corey Tom's realtor.
Okay. When do I just start trusting my ideas? Crowdsourcing. I'm trying to read it on the small part over here. Crowdsourcing might have saved me some mistakes in the past, but I've been playing a while and I still won't pull the trigger on a trade without putting a poll up.
Oh, okay.
Do y'all get second opinions on your shit still? Do I need to just take the training wheels off and make some mistakes? I know for me, I definitely understand where you're at, Simon. I actually feel like this. When you do that, it'll be a lot better for you as far as like the way you evaluate stuff moving forward. And I actually feel like if you do some things to your personal bias and you fuck up doing it that way, is the singular best way to learn how to make your values and how to really make your process your process. I think that it's kind of like we talk about touching the stove as a kid. Like you got to sometimes just do it. And then like I definitely don't want to do that shit again. You'll learn the hard way. And I feel like when you learn though, you actually know what it's like versus just I shouldn't touch the stove.
You and I mean, we've been doing this forever. We do a fucking trade show where we grade trades and we give our opinions on the trade, like who won and who lost. And sometimes we're right, sometimes we're fucking wrong. It happens, but even you and I, like occasionally, we still bounce trade ideas off of each other. Like we get an inbox offer, and I'll send it to you, and I'll be like, "What do you think, Adam? Like,
of course,
would you do this?"
Yeah, when it gets close,
you'll tell me yes or no.
Yeah, right.
And a lot of times we're on the same page, and sometimes we differ in opinions. But it's not every single one. I mean, you and I don't fucking ask every single trade. I mean, some of them are like,
well, yeah, the frequency of that has come down 20x probably. Yeah. But to your point, we still every now and again will be like, damn, it's close. And like, I feel like those I know that I could be making a mistake here. So let me just get a second opinion, right? I'm not saying I'm not saying you'll never need to go away from the second opinion, but you get far more comfortable in just doing your thing.
If it is players I don't have a bias for, right, and I know that the first part, Simon, is acknowledging what your biases are because everybody has them. No matter how much people say they are player agnostic, we all have inherent biases built into how we view players, right? It's why people get so fervorish, like Drake May fucking sucks. Okay, well, where does that come from?
Drake May is the only quarterback in this class I want. Exactly.
Yeah, maybe you're a Duke alum and you just hate everybody who came out of North Carolina, right? Maybe that's the thing. Or like me, right? Like I have a Brock Purdy negative bias towards him, but I'm an Iowa Hawkeyes fan.
Right,
now,
you're an Eagles fan.
I don't carry that with Breece Hall.
The only time he says anything good about CD is when he loses a bet and has to wear his jersey. Right.
Has to wear a jersey. But you have to acknowledge what your biases are. If it's a trade that doesn't involve, and Adam, I think you can attest to it, if this is a trade that doesn't involve any bias, like you're like, everybody I'm sending away, I could really give a fuck less about. Everybody I'm getting, I don't have a bias to, or I'm higher on than consensus. Like this is a player agnostic trade. You just go ahead and you hit the fucking button. And you don't care what I have to say. But if it involves like maybe one or two players where you're like, man, this guy's trying to send me Cam Akers, Mike. I'm like, Adam, fucking stop. You got a problem. It's Cam Akers. Stop fucking doing it.
No,
right?
This is a you problem. Don't accept this. Right.
Or conversely, like if I said something to Adam and I'm like, Adam, I'm about to get my 9th quarterback on this team. What do you think? You're like, Mike, Jesus fucking Christ, all right? You got enough.
You're in a quarterback horde. You don't need to add another. Fucking
stop being an asshole.
Enough's enough.
So I would say, Simon, the first thing is just identify what your biases are and be honest about them. Like, do you like some players more than others for different reasons? It could just be that they fucking went to a wrong school for you, or you just never really were in on that player. If it doesn't involve a player bias, fucking yeah, branch out. Push the fucking button. Make some mistakes. It's going to happen. That's how you're going to learn. But if it does involve a bias and you're like, maybe I'm making a mistake because I'm fucking a big Deontay Johnson fan and I just can't let go ever. Crowdsource it and get some other opinions. And if they're like, no, that's still a good trade, fuck it. Push the button. And if they're like, you got a problem. I always think we give this guy shit all the time. Every time his trade comes up, but I love him to death. Gerard Mayo from the Discord. I see he changed his fucking name too. He can't hide from me.
He's still my favorite. I'll never
Well,
I'll never
just
not
saying
know
he
who you
changed
are.
his name.
Yeah. You could change your name at the fucking BMV. I'm gonna know exactly who the fuck you are. All right.
We're gonna know you are. He has a Keenan Allen problem. Like, you got a fucking Keenan Allen problem.
That's
I think
okay.
it is Keenan Allen.
It is.
All right?
I still love you, but it's okay.
We're gonna tell you got a Keenan Allen problem. Stop fucking trading your first for Keenan Allen. Goddamn it.
You're not wrong. I love it. All right. I'm 100% in agreement. I think you find out a lot about yourself in the process of doing that. So I'm with you. Did I pay too much for Mahomes? It's one of those questions that it has to be so egregious for me to say that you did. But in a 12-team Superflex, 0.5 for the first down for quarterback too. Wow. Sheesh almighty, man. Bryce, CD, Kyler.
Yeah.
I think you did because of CD. You did because of CD. I just talked about what Aiyuk could be on a new team and all that, but CD, I think, positionally as an advantage, CD could mean that what Patrick Mahomes does, the offset, right? Like, and then on the flip side, I want Kyler over Aiyuk.
This 88 makes me look like I have great tits.
You know, I was gonna say taste. Looks like you have great taste.
I got the A and the I mixed up. Yes, Jeremy, you paid too much.
You did. I will say Mahomes is one of those type of dudes that it could end up. You could end up getting away with it, but I would not have done this. I think you paid too much.
And
it's not because of Bryce Young. It's not because of Bryce Young.
If that was Josh Allen instead of Mahomes, still too much.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
Mike, I'll tell you this: I'd rather have CD and Kyler than Mahomes and Aiyuk.
Yes, and the Bryce is just free.
That's what I mean. The Bryce. It's not because of the Bryce, for the record. But I will say though, that's what happens if you want to get Mahomes, you got to pay these type of prices typically, which is why normally I'm not in the business of acquiring Mahomes. Honestly,
the Bryce is pay for 2 dances, get 1 free.
Yeah, what I mean? It was the stage dance at first, the trial, right?
Yeah, I can definitely tell. Fucking Canton's only a month or so away.
I need to stop. I don't even know I don't even know what I'm supposed to pull up at this point.
The views here expressed are Mike's and Mike's alone, not the views of South Harmon.
Oh, Andy, we appreciate you. We're glad you're here today. How much is too much to pay for Gibbs in a 12-team start 9? Oh, this is a good question. I was offered Gibbs. Okay, here. I was offered Gibbs in a 25 second for Brooks, Brian Thomas Jr. in a 26 first.
That's too much.
Brian Thomas Jr. in the 26 first versus Gibbs in a second, I could probably live with. Brooks is too much.
Brian Thomas Jr. in the 26 first just for Gibbs, fine.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah, I'm with you.
Brooks, you added in way too fucking much. You give me the second back, it's not enough. Now, Brooks and Brian Thomas Jr. for Gibbs in the second?
I mean, listen, that's not – I'll say this. That's not egregious, but I'm not paying that.
I would say Brooks and Brian Thomas Jr. for Gibbs in the second in a start 9. I would probably pay that more likely than not. How about that for the cop-out? I would be more on the more probably. Now, I do have some bias with Brooks and Brian Thomas Jr., but I also have some bias with Gibbs, so I understand that. The first and the second thing is like, fuck off.
Mike, did you know after the bye,
How
Jahmyr
good Gibbs was?
Jahmyr Gibbs led the NFL at the running back position in touchdowns?
Ooh, I wouldn't know touchdowns. I wasn't going to guess touchdowns. I was going to say maybe like fantasy points.
Yeah. But what's crazy,
led the Lions.
I feel like the touchdown part is specifically important because people don't view him as the goal line back, and people don't view him as a back that's on the field long enough or on, getting enough snaps to be that guy.
See, I would throw in like your face more, the fact I got Jahmyr Gibbs off of you for a late first in this class.
For sure.
But you fucked me over so many times on the Quentin Johnson Puka Nacua thing that I'm still in the net negative.
Right.
So
and it's okay. Yeah, I don't mind if you throw it in my face. It's fine. I can live with it. I acknowledge it.
The craziest part is you could have done it like 3 more fucking leagues, and you just chose not to.
Yeah.
Thankfully, like you saved me. You showed mercy. You're the
Right.
merciful. You're not Joffrey. You're more like the fucking brother of Joffrey from Game of Thrones. Like,
but you know what's crazy is
Tommen. Whatever the fuck is it?
But people
the kid
still
who jumped out of the window.
But I still feel like I'm starting to earn equal hate regardless of my actions. I feel like it's pretty fun for me. Like still being hated. It's kind of a good problem to have. But that being said, Mike, is that stat not crazy?
That is fucking nuts. I would have never guessed that one.
I'm just saying this. The Jahmyr Gibbs experience could be absolutely fucking insane. I'm not probably paying this, but what? So he had, I think it was no, when you include the receiving, I think he had 2 or 3 on through the air. So I think
I mean, when was the bye? Like, was it?
Oh, so their bye was week 9, so it was weeks 10 through 18.
Okay.
Yeah, weeks 10 through 18. I think he had 11 touchdowns, if I remember right.
After the bye?
But you know what's crazy about that? That also isn't cherry picking the weeks that Montgomery was hurt, those 2 weeks before the bye, where Jahmyr Gibbs went. Remember Jahmyr Gibbs had like the backfield to himself for those 2 weeks before the bye?
So he had nine total touchdowns from week 10 through 18.
On the ground?
Just total.
Total, okay. Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
And then
here.
3 in the playoffs.
There you go. So I was looking at it just, let's see here. So we got Gibbs. Let's do that.
Man.
Yeah. He was balling out of control, though. So we got, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 9.
9 tutties.
Anyway, Gibbs was balling. Who was the other?
I'm no math expert, but 10 to 18 is 9 weeks, so a touchdown a week.
It's not terrible, is it? Not terrible.
That's pretty good, right?
Yeah. There was a question in here that I was gonna. Do y'all get? Oh, here it is. Dabba-dubby. Is that right? Dabba-dubby? Okay.
Dabba-dubby.
Have Herbert, Goff, and Watson in a 2-quarterback 14-man dynasty league. Should I shop one like Watson? Not Watson. If you want to shop one, like if you want to shop Goff or Herbert, I'm okay with it. Herbert's prices come down to the point where I feel like you don't really net the return that you should on Herbert anymore. But the reason I say not Watson is the one here that I feel like you have to hold. There's just no value to extract out of Watson right now.
Nobody likes him.
No, not even me, Browns fan. Like nobody likes him. Like
I like Deshaun Watson.
I'll be honest. There's probably some masseuses out there that like Deshaun Watson more than people in Cleveland. You know.
Yeah, I'm shopping Herbert or Goff. Probably Goff would be the most likely one because, like Adam said,
nobody likes Deshaun Watson in Dynasty, man.
At least Herbert's value has corrected more to a reasonable range.
Actually, you know what I want to do now? I want to go to the lab and see like I want to see some actual Deshaun Watson trades. I feel like it's never going to be that I am happy selling Deshaun. I'll pull that up for the time being.
I'll get some with my 47 leagues I'm in now.
There you go. Yeah, pull those up for us. I'll pull up questions while you do that.
I can't even spell my own fucking name right. So
League competition question. If someone gets a steal on a player and tries to flip them to you immediately, do you factor in their fleecing or are trades always independent of each other? I mean, they are always independent of each other. For me personally, I will say that there are rare times, like there are certain exceptions where I'm looking like, yeah, no, I'm not going to give you this piece because it's gonna like complete your I don't know, your Infinity Stones. You're gonna have the whole gauntlet now. Like there's rare times like that, depending on the league that I'm in and how great this team is, and kind of looking at my competition. But I mean, at the end of the day, that's a different thing though than factoring in the steal they just got from a different trade, right? Like, yeah that shit happened. But what are we gonna do now? Like, I'm gonna try to give you 75 cents on the dollar you just accrued for free. What do we got?
You asked me to look up Deshaun Watson.
I told you. What did I tell you? The shades came off. Look at this motherfucker. I told you. You do not want to sell Deshaun Watson right now. I almost guarantee it. But maybe I'm wrong. How bad is
Deshaun Watson
okay.
for a 2026 second and a 2025 third. What?
You remember that? You remember that Oprah gif, Mike?
Oh my god. Tyreek Hill, 4, Deshaun Watson, a 25 first, and Nico Collins.
Lord, that is crazy.
Deshaun Watson, Elijah Moore, and Zach Evans. I don't know why Zach Evans is in here, but it is. So
wait, hold on. Whoa. I need that again.
Deshaun Watson, Elijah Moore, and Zach Evans.
So it's going to be viewed as 3 shitters probably in this trade.
For Quentin Johnston in a second.
One of these things does not belong. Are you? Y'all pulling my leg.
Deshaun Watson in a second for Bryce Young.
But what's crazy about that is why is there a second there? Like, the market says they're about the same thing.
I don't fucking know.
Ayo, this is so good. Mahomes, Kyler, and Bryce. Can I win?
Can I win? I'd say yes.
Can I win? I know when can I win is so good. Damn.
Can I win? I love Jay so much, man. Jay, are we finally?
Jay, are you finally going to be at the expo?
Please.
Bro, I actually felt a little bad. It was like 2 days in, and I'm like, someone's not, or it was maybe a day in. Someone's not fucking here. And I realized it was Jay. And I hit him up, and he said he couldn't get off work. You better be there, Jay. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person. Because
Jay, I'll say this, man. I've been looking forward to meeting you in person for multiple years now.
Yep.
If you can make it to Canton, right? If you can make it to Canton, don't worry about the cost of the shit school. I will pay it out of my own pocket myself.
Jay, he does not speak for South Harmon. I'm just kidding.
I speak for myself. I got you. I got Jay personally.
Wow.
Jay's been ride or die from like day one with us.
Jay feels, Mike, you know what Jay feels like? You know when we first started, when we first opened the Patreon, it was like friends and family. Jay feels like the first person that wasn't friends and family that like was in there from the beginning. Like, just showed up. Like
didn't share blood with us. Or was fucking us.
Right. It was right. There was a small list of people that made sense, and then there was Jay. Like, hey, what's up, man?
Either you were having sex with us, or we were related.
And what I mean by that is there were a few people also in the Patreon that we used to just constantly really get over in trades. So we were kind of bending them over for years too. So
they come to. Oh my God! How about Deshaun Watson for Jalen Polk?
Here's actually a good question though. Okay, because I feel like this experience is going to lead to just horrible trades. I felt in my core that was going to be the case. What would you need though to move Watson in a 14-team league?
First and second.
Two quarterback 14-team.
First and a second.
There's no way in fucking hell that's coming, right?
There's no way it's coming, but that's what I need. Otherwise,
pause for the record.
Yeah, he might be one of the most unsellable assets in Dynasty. To be
he might. Yeah, I need to stop. I'm just gonna stop right there. Jay, what you gonna do, Playboy? What are your guys' thoughts on Trey McBride? What's his ceiling in 24? I mean, the ceiling is the roof, as Michael Jordan once put it. I mean, the ceiling is the roof. Yeah, 100. I think he absolutely could be tight end 1 this season, even with Marv coming over.
A realistic outcome in that tight end 3 to 5 range?
I was gonna say, I think I'm still, even if he's not tight end 1, like I'm still pretty bullish on like him being a top 5 guy this year.
I say that I'm bullish on him being in there, but in most leagues, tight end don't matter, so I'll end up with not a lot of Trey McBride in fresh startups. I have a lot of them already in Dynasty.
I have 3 shares. I just went over my tight end shares.
Okay. I mean, that's pretty fucking reasonable.
3 out of 18 is actually higher than you probably expected to be percentage-wise, right? I'm pretty bad at math on the fly and stuff like that, but I want to say – so it's 17% of my leagues. It's not bad.
Well, 8 would be 50%.
8 would be 50, yeah. 4 would be 25.
You just work backwards from there, right?
Yeah, I just, once you get past like 33, 25, I'm like, okay, how far down am I going? Yeah. But
what do you think about
I wish I had a little more exposure to Trey, Mike, but I'm not going out of my way to acquire him now. He's really expensive.
You got a better percentage than I do. I have 4 shares across 48 leagues, so
okay, 12%.
It definitely ain't 17%.
Yeah. So wait,
Single
it's a start
digits.
11 as well.
14 teams start 11 league. Yeah, like you're not trading Deshaun Watson for reasonable unless there's a Deshaun Watson fan in there. It's just not happening.
The theory. I think this is. Can I just? I'm actually going to go back and make a point about this for the record. Where's the question? Damn, I'm having a hard time right now.
You would think you're the one drinking.
Well, I should be, is what this says. I'm better when I'm drinking. In theory, though, right? So
you're
in theory,
bad or nothing.
Yeah, I'm a little more normal.
Do you remember Beer Fest?
Yeah, I remember Beer Fest. I actually didn't hear what you just said. I was talking over you. Sorry, what?
I said you're Barry Baderneth.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Barry, you know where he like sucks at fucking playing all the games, and then he comes back, he's fucking shit faced, and like just go home, Barry. And then he like hits every quarter bounce he does. He's just fucking
going crazy,
beer ponging it right in the fucking. I'm
going
better
back,
when I'm drunk.
Going back to like middle part of the show, maybe there's a chance, Mike, if I wasn't drinking like that, I would have really sucked at basketball. Honestly, it could be very well.
Have.
Yeah, I might have been ass.
And you got the voice like Barry White, so you are Barry Baderneth.
Bang. In theory though, right? When here's the thing. In theory, you have 3 quarterbacks. It's like, all right, my quarterback 3 is the one I want to sell. I get it. But like, unless you're in a magnetic quarterback horde, that person typically isn't going to have a shit ton of value. So
yeah,
Watson to me here has similar ranges of outcomes. Not necessarily to Goff, but like his upside is absolutely as high as Goff's is, and you can probably trade Goff for much better return right now. So
I don't think that should be a hot take.
No, I got bad news for you. Did you see what the trades were? It's a horribly hot take, Mike. It's a horribly hot take. All right, let's get a couple more questions in here. Okay, would you trade? I'm trying
You're
to.
Barry Baderneth,
I'm over here.
and I'm landfill.
I need to make these bigger. These are over small. I'm trying to like squint. And Mike's, you're Barry Baderneth, whispering in my fucking ear. Would you give a 25 first and Monty? Or Rashad White for Zay Flowers. Okay, Zay Flowers for a 25 first plus Monty or Rashad White? I don't think so.
I don't think I'm giving away that much.
I'm not giving away, Mike, I'm not giving away either one of those running backs and a first for Zay.
And it's
definitely not Rashad
10.
White.
It's a 12-team start 10.
Nah.
I'm good. Not for Zay. I like Zay. His helmet's right there. Oh, finally, Adam, look. I got the right hand the first fucking time.
Dude.
I didn't have to do it over.
Dude, I'm telling you. You know why? It's that Dallas jersey, baby. Look at him.
Fuck you.
Feeling awful comfortable in that thing, huh?
His helmet's right there.
It is. That Boston College.
Yeah.
Zay,
no, don't do this.
I will say Zay's, you know how a lot of these young guys, they get pushed up to like unreasonable amounts of hype. Zay feels like the young receiver that's value like stuck, like he's plateaued in Dynasty. It's really weird for Zay Flowers. I like him, but not like this.
I really like him a lot. I'm just not doing my first and a Monty or a Rashad White. And I would say definitely not Rashad White. The Monty one, maybe.
I'll be honest, the Monty one's not horrible. Yeah, it's just not. These are the type. See, the way that I'm team building now, though, Mike. Right. The way I'm team building now, I don't have typically I don't have an arsenal of these type of running backs at my disposal. I have 2 of them, maybe, like 3 of them, right? And then I got a lot of backups that I'm trying to just patchwork together in my running back room. So it just feels. I guess it just feels steep given the way that I'm team building too. Now, if you told me, James, that you have a running back room with 5 or 6 running backs in this type of a range, I can get more behind it a little bit. I just also think if I'm going to be packaging together a Rashad White type running back with my liquid 25 first, I'm trying to shoot a little higher than Zay Flowers at receiver too.
That's fair. Yeah, I wouldn't be. If I'm packaging, I'm with you. I love Zay too, man. I took him at 5th round in that video I did on Tuesday.
That's right. That's about right. He's a 5th round.
That's about right.
Yeah.
I just don't think I'm adding like somebody who's probably taken in the 7th, 8th round plus my first.
Right.
To move up to take him. Right, if I'm going to do that, maybe it's something where you move up to take a Drake London instead, or
let me ask you this.
Michael Pittman.
Can I tell you why I say that? This type of a move. Let me ask you what your view. I love Zay Flowers, Mike, but I don't actually view him as a needle mover receiver. I view him as a really nice part of my lineup. I want to have shares, but I don't view him as that like gonna make the huge jump and warp type player. That's part of the reason I have that. The problem with this trade. If you told me like there's some receivers not that far up the board, that like Mike, let me ask you, if that was Brandon Aiyuk, what do you think?
Better, much better,
right?
Much better. Monty in a first, I could see that one.
Yeah, Brandon Aiyuk type, someone in that range, not necessarily leaps and bounds ahead of Zay Flowers, but get me closer to what I think is a guy that can give me more elite or closer to like, wide receiver 1 type numbers in the season.
Yep. I get it. Let's do it. Go for that, James.
Has anyone checked in on stuff?
Who's that guy?
Who the fuck is that guy?
I think I'm blocked.
Mike, there's a lot of accounts I think that you're blocked from. Can I say one difference for sure in Mike and Mai's Twitter? He has more followers, no question. But one thing that's for sure different is the amount of times that I'm blocked versus the amount of times he's blocked. I'd put strong, heavy lean. You're like minus 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, something egregious
Easily.
to me.
Easily.
If someone has me blocked, I'm not gonna say I would be surprised. I would be a little surprised, but like I don't. How many accounts do you think you could potentially have blocked you right now? I think there's a decent amount. 10?
It's in the hundreds.
I was gonna start low, 10, and then work my way.
I
was gonna try to. Well, no, I was trying to work my way up, like really dramatize it. But I think there's. It would be hard to tell. It would be hard to put a real number on it, buddy.
Every now and then, Twitter suggests like a tweet. You know how that goes when you're on your phone or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I just got one right now. It's funny. I just swiped it off. Yep.
I know for a fact that person had me blocked. So like they actively unblocked me, and they're gonna fucking regret it.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Really? Why do you think you got unblocked?
So this weird one, right? Like I went in on Steffi Smalls for that situation that she had.
I very much remember that part. Yeah.
And come the expo time, she unblocked me. I don't know if it's because we were with Ray and Jay Rich and everything, and
2022 year. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I got unblocked for some reason, and then she may have searched through my tweets or whatever, and was like, "Oh, that's why I blocked this fucking asshole."
Fucking put him back. Put him back.
Put him back. So Stopa, I don't fucking know. And in all reality, to be completely honest, Castle Black, he may be in prison for all that embezzlement and fraud that he was committing in the state of Florida, which got him disbarred. Got him, bitch. How about that for clout chasing? You should have just let the QB horde happen. Let Slim know
what I do.
Insert his QB horde penis.
There's always a point in the night where I look up and I'm surprised by the time, and I know we have well surpassed the time that we should be on live air.
169 viewers. It fits. Fuck. Just went to 170.
It was 169 when you said it. I saw it. Yes.
Got it.
James, his room currently then, Mike, would be Monty. So he has Rachaad White, Monty, Aaron Jones, Zahmyr White, Connor, Benson, Brooks. So let's say you're losing Rachaad White in the first. Let's say you're losing Monty in the first. I'm not doing Rachaad White in the first. Let's say you lose Monty. So your running back room is these guys now and Rachaad White, and you have back Zay Flowers.
I still want a better receiver. I really do.
So do I. I also don't.
My first on the line.
I also don't like Benson and Brooks. I really like, but I can't confidently project what the fuck's going to be happening for these guys this year. Like this year, Mike, can I tell you what's crazy? That I don't know how you view it. I personally, if I have them on my team, I'm not viewing them as like guys that are for sure going to lock in production for me this year. Like I think it could happen, but I'm not betting on like they're going to give me production even in the later part of the year.
Yeah. Just give me something a little better. I mean, Zay is in the community. Man, he's way down there. 22.
Would you do it for Nico?
Like a 19.
Would you do it for Nico?
No.
Nico's 17 right now.
No.
I knew you'd
Michael
say no.
Pittman.
I knew you would say no. I had to ask though.
Pittman, Smitty, Aiyuk.
Fam, how
Odunze.
is Tank Dell wide receiver 18 and keep Trey Cut?
Because Tank tells the truth, bro. No, I don't know.
You want to know something eerie? I just hit the next page, and they must have refreshed. He's now wide receiver 19 on the next page. That's some fucked up shit.
Everybody's on keep trade cut right now voting.
Zay Flowers 22. Yeah, he's honestly, I kind of feel like he's at the back end of the tier, but I'm just not doing it.
No.
Shoot higher, my friend. Shoot higher,
Yep,
especially this time of year when you don't need to make a move.
Yes, sir.
Who the fuck is Stopa? Well, I love you, Germ, but I can't. I'm not going down this path. He was let's just say the fantasy football season last year per sleeper started during this time when Mike had a quarterback horde going.
Other than the fact that Sleeper ignores 205 straight fucking tweets.
That's the worst. Can I tell you that's the worst part? That's the reason why I don't like you doing this college thing. We had such a good thing going with Sleeper.
We still do.
My dad and I had the perfect setup until you got here, and you ruined it.
Other than the fact that they've ignored me for 205 straight fucking days about
Mike at one point, Mike was Mike a year ago was the chosen one. Now he's fucking blocked by one of the biggest platforms that we need attention from.
I'm not blocked by them, but I'm most definitely muted. Most definitely on mute.
I think that you can't say with certainty that you're not blocked.
I can say with certainty because it wouldn't let me tag him if I was blocked. And I tag him every day.
Well, let's just say this. Blocked, muted, it's the same fucking thing from a platform that big. You're dead to them, okay?
It basically is. Sons of bitches. Yeah.
How do you
But you're
sleep
right.
at
Sleeper did anoint me the chosen one this time last year. And now I'm really like fucking Anakin Skywalker.
And, yeah, Castle Black's not wrong either. I mean, I'll say this. We don't always win, you know? We don't. But when you mess with the whole clan, buddy, it just – that's not a fight I pray on anybody. Not any man, no woman. I don't – you get the whole shithead manor, Mike, against you, it's tough.
We're old school NWO. You know?
Dude, I'm taking the field of the shitheads over everybody every time. It just
Hey, I mean, we used to play that for our fucking intro, D-Generation X. We're the D-Generation X of the fantasy football.
Dude, that's going back to the OG days. Damn.
Who are you?
I kind of missed that. I kind of missed that.
Two guys at the head. Two guys at the head. Are you Triple H or are you Shawn Michaels?
That's tough. Every time I want to say one, I want to say the other. I was going to say Shawn Michaels, but I don't know. Shawn Michaels.
Well, you're definitely better looking like Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels. That's Chaz Michaels.
I know. Yeah, I'll take Shawn. I'll take Shawn Michaels. You want to take Triple H? You think that's the right pairing?
Yeah, I'd spit this out, but it's a little bit of vodka in there, and it'd probably fuck up my key light or my camera or something. So I was gonna do the whole. No, but
dude, why not? It's like the Bronny James. It's like the Bron James chalk toss.
You know what? I'm gonna actually need that because when I do that one chip challenge with you, my friend.
Oh, you're gonna do it now. You're gonna do it now.
I said I would do it.
When?
Reluctantly.
When? I missed that part then. If you said that, I missed that part. I basically got you to realize that, like, while I fucked up, it didn't excuse that you lost too.
We're still in it together. All right?
I love this.
We are like stepbrothers. When you fart, I got to smell it and taste it too. Just like Seth Rogen.
Why are you so sweaty?
Just got done watching Cops.
All right. Let's answer a couple questions. Let's get the fuck out of here. I could keep going all night, Mike, but worried for you at work and me for just sanity. How much
I go
does
into work early this week? That way I can hang out with Alan on Friday.
Yeah, I did. We did that on Tuesday. I thought it went awesome.
It's a little different doing radio too, with the producer in your ear and breaks and all that stuff.
Yeah, I kind of like it. Well, what I don't like is like I'm over feeling like I'm a little bit when we do that. I'm looking for the break before it happens so much that I didn't like get into the flows. I'm like, it's got to be coming. I don't want to over talk a point, but it's a blast. When it's Alan, when it's like same here. I looked up, it's 30 minutes in, and 30 minutes in means with breaks coming up, we're over halfway through the show. So I'm like, wow.
The tough part for me is when I go on with Alan is not saying fuck.
Well.
And that was only on 15-minute fucking segments, so now I got to do it for an hour.
Well, good luck. I'll just say, especially when Alan. See, the fact that Alan came on our South Harmon AMA and put on the show he did, and I saw how he gets down, really makes it more difficult now. Like when I first went on RotoWire, and I didn't really get to see that side of Alan, I'm like, oh, straight laced dude, cool dude, I like him. But then he can't. He'll cut up just like anybody will. So, how much does a stack truly count? I'm not sure what that question means, but have Josh Allen.
So this is one of the
Burrow,
ones where I defer.
Dak.
I refer to people who've done a lot more research on stacks. And one of the ones from years ago, but it still holds true, is from Josh Larkey when he was at Player Profiler.
Yep.
He did the stack research. And it's actually pretty big. It's pretty big to have the stack. But I've always kind of operated by this rule. I'm not going to break my strategy or break my roster construction to go like actively get a stack and put it as a detriment to my team.
No,
but I will use it as tiebreakers for sure.
Yeah. So I view it probably pretty similar. So if I'm looking at a trade, okay. So let's say, for example, Mike, that trade there, Zay Flowers probably is a bad example because I still don't view him as the best example of a true stack. But this example here, where I have CD and I have Dak Prescott, like if I was looking at a trade that I would say is close, but I would say no. Now, if I'm receiving Dak and it's that same type of close, I might say yes. Like it might just push it over the top a little bit because it's a stack. But it basically, to your point, it's got to be very close in the overall way that I'm viewing the values. I'm not gonna like, if Keep Trade Cut does these little value puts, I'm not gonna start putting 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 points into the value to make a trade. But if it's a trade that I'm on the fence about or I think is close enough in value, I might take it to get the stack. So I'm probably a little bit like a tiebreaker plus, but I'm not going to really break principles or, to your point, go crazy to get the stack.
Now, for this one, you have Allen, you have Burrow, you have Dak. I'm probably starting Dak over Joe Burrow every single week, but it also brings, if this is fucking Dynasty or I don't give a fuck if this was redraft, I'm actively shopping Joe Burrow.
Well, this is exactly what I was going to say. So, outside of a best ball situation, so in best ball here, I'm liable to probably just keep these three quarterbacks unless someone gives me a stupid return. But in a lineup league,
fuck that, I'm going to kill you every single week with these three quarterbacks and CD Lamb. Good luck.
But in a lineup league, I'll be honest with you, Mike. I would prefer to trade Burrow at a very nice price. But if someone gave me a Godfather offer on Josh Allen here, I'd still probably roll out Burrow and Dak. But I don't want to be rostering these three top 12 type quarterbacks that I view it as, only being able to start two every week.
Yep. I'd be exploring Joe Burrow trades. But if somebody was going to give me just as much for fucking Dak Prescott, even though I have the stack, he's worth a little bit less, you probably still trade Dak.
Fizzle.
No, Fizz. You don't. Fizz. Come on, man. I don't waste alcohol, man. I chugged that, what the fuck was that shit T-Rock gave me last year? Belvedere. I had like a quarter bottle left, and it's like right before we're supposed to fucking leave, Adam. I just fucking down the hatch, right? Like we're getting ready for the drive back. I just woke up early in the morning on Monday to drive back to your place. You got to go to work. I'm about to go hang out with your wife and kid until I go to the airport.
I was hurting too. I know you had to be hurting.
I was hurting like a motherfucker. But I chugged that fucking last little bit of Belvedere because I ain't wasting it. All right. And
Fuck
then I got in
no.
the car and he took me back. And I hung out with your wife and kid in the morning, and then my flight got canceled, so then I went to bed, took a nap, drooled on your pillow. It was a great time.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Thank you, Belvedere.
Hey, Belvedere, though, you definitely can't waste Belvedere, man. That's just nah. Especially not over this way. The shit show doesn't play around and waste stuff like that.
Who the fuck drinks almond? Almonds don't even have tits. You can't milk them.
Here's the thing. Almond milk,
I have
Mike,
nipples.
the point of this is that what's going to happen to your brain, the way things are going to change when you eat that chip, for a moment, you might not pour the gin out, but you're going to be wanting to drink some fucking type of milk or some type of dairy. You're gonna need all of Prairie Farms. You know, you're gonna.
I've been preparing, Adam. We got a cheese place. They make Carolina Reaper cheese. I've been eating it.
Have you? Interesting. You know what's crazy is I was watching some of those videos and people talk about how you should like. It's almost like a conditioning in a way. It actually is conditioning. It literally is conditioning. By the way, the singular, by leaps and bounds, the worst part of college basketball, conditioning.
Conditioning sucks,
brother. Awful. I mean, if you're gonna quit something, that would be the reason why. But over here, we don't quit shit. We don't quit. We drink the Belvedere when we're hungover, when we have nothing else to drink after this one sip.
Keep going.
We ain't quitting. We love you. There's not a damn thing you can do about it. Love us or hate us. And we'll see you back here, same time, same place, next week for AMA. We're out of this thing. Peace.